Hello, artists and friends. How are you today? Stephanie coming to you from Concord, California. Ooh, it's actually blue skies out there, so I'm hoping to get out here in a little while, although I do have a ton of work that I need to do. I kind of would like to go outside and maybe look for a couple little items for my new home that I'm going to be moving to at the end of the month. I'm so excited. Anyway, digression. So all of the journal travel packs have sold. Every single one of them. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And I've heard back from a few of you how much you've really enjoyed it, and that is so cool. I'm very, very happy. And hopefully it gives you hours of inspiration and things that you can do. However, since I sold out of that pack, I decided to come up with a new pack, and I did a huge amount of product development the last couple days. I went out and found you all sorts of goodies 2 days ago, and then yesterday I spent the whole day putting things together, and then this morning, let's see, it's noon, so this morning I went through and actually added a few more things because, well, I added some deli sheets, and for me, giving up my deli sheets was incredibly hard. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday when I was putting the packs together, I had put out a stack of them, and then as I went through and was doing it, I'm like, I can't give this away. I can't do that. I can't do that. So I ended up this morning thinking about it, and it's like, you know, what is a transparency pack without having some deli sheets? So this amazing package of goodies, this is to really focus on building layers and layers and layers. I have some great stuff. We're going to go through and review the pack for you, and then I will get this put up, and then they will be put on Etsy. I believe they're going to be $37. They're a couple dollars more than the last one, but I spent a lot of money putting all the pieces and parts together, so I'm just trying to make it work that way. All of the packs are in priority mail envelopes. They were a good size, and they are so packed that I had to get the last bit, the deli sheets in there. I actually pulled up the sides here, and then they're retaped down. These things have been opened and closed 3 times with additions, so they are a little bit Frankensteined. I'm sorry that I don't have the time to make a beautiful mailing package to you, but I don't have the time to decorate mail. As much as, you know, as cool as it looks, I just don't have time to do it. So since we're having a new video, I do have a new addition. This is actually off of my Etsy store. This is a 2019 planner, and it is made with handmade papers. It's this great earthy green and gold. If you look up, you can see I did put a base layer in here, so there's some words up in there. And the planner, you know, when you're dealing with ink on paper, sometimes the ink does get onto the paper, and it just gives it uniqueness. You can always put your own beautiful image in there. It's a week planner, so it's a nice size. It's a nice strength. So it's a $15 value off of my Etsy store. I have to remember to take it down off of my Etsy store. Have to do that. Okay, let's go down to the table, and I will show you what's in your pack. This is going into the bag. We're going to do a bag review here too today, so I can get everybody excited and go through and do as much here on the last couple days that we have possible. Again, it is the 12th today, so okay, we'll chat soon. Bye. All right, this is going to be nearly impossible to get back into here because there is so much stuff. I can't get it out. Okay. Wow. It is so completely packed in here. The printer just kind of sometimes randomly just does its own thing here. All right. Okay, what's in here? Everybody gets a playing card. This is a random card. I don't know why, because I had a deck of cards, and so I put them in there. Everybody gets a word or two. Kind of just a nice size. Just little pieces of paper there, nothing special. Everybody gets 5 coffee sticks, craft sticks. Oh, this one gets a second card. 8 of hearts, it's a good number. Little piece of puzzle. Where's my 5th coffee stick? You do get 5 coffee sticks. Oh, wow. Okay, this one wasn't supposed to have 3. Most of them have just 1, but okay. Just this pack doesn't have all the little metal bits that the other pack had. So, like I said, this is more about layers and transparencies. So, everybody gets this little awesome cat. He's so cool. It was just a book that everybody gets a page out of the book. Okay, some recipes. These are actually, this is an old book. It was still in pretty good shape, but great for layering. Everybody gets 2 pages out of this book. This was actually something that was printed in the 70s, I believe. But the, I don't know, the illustrations are kind of cool. So, make sure we're not, I kind of need to fold it because it's hard to get it back into there. Here. Okay. Everybody gets a couple pages of this beautiful, remember when we're doing our base layer that we really want to have as much diversity as possible. Now, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to have the same size lettering all the way through it, and then other times, you know, this small. This particular, finish sentences. This particular dictionary page is actually very translucent. So as you can layer this on top of others, and some of the wording will come through with other things. I mean, if you look at here, you would still see, you know, with that transparency, it would potentially give you more stripes. You have to play with that some. I haven't played with this dictionary for a while, although I did use it quite a bit. This is great dictionary pages. Everybody gets 3 popcorn bags, and that's for the pattern if you want to use it. Everybody gets another piece of foam sheet. Now, what you can do too, remember, you can cut out shapes on this. You can glue the shapes to, you know, whatever, and you can make your own stamps out of it. So, you know, they're kind of, I need to play more with those, so everybody gets one of those. Here's just a plain piece of white tissue paper that you can stamp on and that you can use as a transparency layer. This brown bag, actually this is a paper. It's lighter than a bag. These were pieces of paper that I had used, and when you put this on a board, let me show you real quick. I'm sorry here. I'm going to jump up real fast because you're like, ooh, that's a piece of brown paper. So this paper makes this board. And the brown spots here can do this, but also when you put the Mod Podge over the board and then you add some, this has probably timber brown stays on, it has probably some walnut stain on it, and then covered with a coat of Mod Podge at the end. So you can get a really great leather effect from using this type of paper bag. It's cool stuff. That's why I added it in there, because you can make cool things out of it. Oh, this guy gets 2 of this bag. This particular pack got a lot of good stuff. It's got a couple extra pieces in here. I put in 1 of these for sure in everybody's package. They're different colors. Some of them are more earthy. Some of them are, you know, a little bit more beat up than others. But what you can do is you can take pieces and parts. It's just, I think that it's pretty in that it could make a cool background. If you don't like it, don't use it. Just throw it away. But the colors were too cool not to play with. So here we have another recipe, and everybody gets a couple pages of this guy. It's just ephemera. Here we have a beautiful sewing pattern. So I'm sure this is from the copyright 1990. Not sure if it's been used. Yep, it's been used. So again, these things make excellent transparencies, especially if you take your ink and you stamp on it. So it's just another layer of color. You can use it over another color to kind of calm that color down. I mean, look what that can do to that background on this. You know, it takes that white from a white to that antique vintage color, and then also, you know, you can use the instructions for more good stuff. So everybody gets a sewing pattern. I cannot say what pattern you get. So it's just kind of cool. A couple of paper bags. Just kind of a, you know, fun print. Everybody does get a very nice gel pen. This is, you know, a $3 to $5 value depending on where you're getting it. They're great for making marks. I wanted to have something a little extra in there, a little fun. So here's the napkin pack. Everybody gets 21 napkins. Oh, this was crazy putting this together. But they are very, very beautiful napkins. These are things that I use in my own art. So I'm just going to kind of go through them quickly. This one I put on one of my journals. It's the bird here, and it was absolutely beautiful, the way that this particular napkin turned out. This one I love. This would make such a very, very cool kind of Baroque background. You know, put down your base ephemera first, so your wording, put all that down first, and then peel this off and put it over the top of it, and then you could even like layer that sewing pattern on top of that, and you're just creating layers, or put this over the top of the sewing pattern just to kind of take down that white. But if you have the spray inks like I love to use, you could probably, once you have this Mod Podged and you let it dry, you can put watercolor over it or any other material that you want to. This is a really beautiful napkin. It's more for the colors. So with these colors, and the softness, it'll give you a very abstract pattern. It'll be nice. Some pigs, because everybody needs pigs. Some birds. They're pretty awesome birds. They have a great shape to them. The nest is really nice. The wording is very nice. So this has the same image on all four sides. So what you can do is you can tear out or cut around, you know, just kind of do a soft cut around these. And you can really layer and stack these. If you had that on a vertical piece of, horizontal. If you had that on a horizontal canvas that was like 1 foot tall by 2 foot, or something that was longer than shorter, if that makes sense. Anyway, you can make a cool forest or flower patch out of those. Sorry, my brain starts thinking, and then I can't speak. Sorry. This one is just beautiful. I used this one on one of my journals also, after putting down a base layer. So these most of these are 3-ply, but I put this seam down the center of the journal, and it just folded over, and then I painted over the top of it and Mod Podged over it, and it's a gorgeous, beautiful design. Here's a big sunflower. You also have a small sunflower, and this is for variance in size. There are 4 sunflowers on each, so you can kind of move them around. I mean, you could make a really cool pattern with these guys. This cool stuff. Oh, okay, and the other last one here, this size, you know, polka dots. Now, why would you do polka dots? Well, if you have your base layer down under there, you see your base layer, and you're going to put your layers of paint over it, these dots are really not going to be the same colors when you're done. And the blues, of course, are going to be more noticeable. They're going to kind of stay there. But these other ones are just going to kind of fall back into the background. And as you're layering, as you're creating your transparencies, there's so much possibility with creating something extremely cool with those dots. You know, don't limit yourself by just what that particular color is right at this moment, because colors never stay the same once you put all your good stuff on there. This would make a really great vignette. And this blue is very pretty. I'm folding it wrong. This again is a beautiful watercolor type effect. When you have it over your base ephemera layer, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna create kind of a little bit of a Victorian feel, but again, it's hard to say how much you'll really notice it. But you'll have the layer there. You'll have the kind of the outline. This one is definitely more dense, so this is something that I would put probably on the very bottom and build up from there. But this one's so beautiful. You could use it as as the only layer. This one again, I mean, wow. Can you see this on like a larger size canvas? See, here's 9 inches, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's about 12 inches. It's more than 12 inches wide. No, yeah, it is more than 12 inches wide, but just barely. But, so, you have that capability of putting this all on one solid canvas. So, you're not limited to just a book whatsoever. I work a lot with canvases because I like making things in a larger format that, it's kind of one piece, and I sell a lot of canvases. This is another one that, again, I think I used it on, not positive, but I might have used it on one of my journals. Just some stripes. Again, the same concept as the polka dots. So you'll see the darker ones more. The other ones will kind of fade in and out. And then last but not least, this gorgeous, gorgeous background. I mean, what if you took this, and can you imagine what image you would put with it? And can you imagine... Actually, I've got a really great idea for that one. So I did keep a couple of these napkins for myself, which is why I only have 15 packs instead of 20. I was very, very sad to give them all away. These are some very cool little note card dividers. And you can use these as flips in your book. You could take your page and somehow bind these together, even with a little bit of tape or whatever, and then in your book you could make these things separately come out, just on your page, for instance. Actually, I could go through and do this with some of these because I want to put more images on, except I don't have space in here to do that. You see what my issue is the closing here. Actually, I probably could do it here. Make some little fold outs. Be kind of cool, something different, something interesting, something unique. So there's your 5th coffee stir stick. Now you might be thinking, oh, what would you be doing with this? Well, this is a nice heavier paper. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. You'll definitely want to cover it with your base layer, but again, here's the 5 dividers on this guy. And you could easily cut them down, and maybe use 3 or 4 of them and do the same thing that I was just describing. Plus, you could use these also. I mean, it's a heavy enough paper. You could use it as a base. Cut it in half or whatever size you want to use. Remember, you don't have to do art on a specific sized thing. You can make stuff on whatever you want to, including a couple of file folders. So you can cut these in half. You can work on that size. Now I print on file folders because I like having a little bit heavier paper sometimes. So I'll cut them down to size to fit into my printer. And I like having the little bit of the coloring on it so it's not so stark white. And it does work really well for lettering, giving a little bit heaviness to it. Here's some more base layer. Everybody gets 5 pages of this. Just some different words, just some different shapes. Everybody gets 3 pages, I believe, of this incredible music sheet. It really is, even though it's not super vintage, you can coffee dye this. You can take any of your inks over the top of it to color it. You know, your antique linen would work perfect on it. There's so much that you can do with a white piece of paper to make it not white. And last but not least, you get 5 pages of this guy. So this particular piece makes a great background. This is kind of a cool image here. You know, not all the stories are happy. That's kind of a cool image. Let's see. Laura. Here's this one. Oh, that's a cool race car, though. Now, remember that you can also take these words and you can just take out, it's nice lettering. So you can piece together words, make your own sentences. Annie, get your gun. That's a great little image there. Little Coca-Cola image. So, King quits country. Huh. Oh, here's a boxing thing. And of course, these are good. So, I know I get stuck on these. They're just kind of cool. All sorts of different ephemera is in here. So you've got some images, you've got, you know, that's a great photo right there. Different images, different words, you know, power is a good word, assume, you know. So, you know, kind of fun things to play with. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep them. Nobody's forcing you to use them. And then here was this morning's edition. So everybody gets an envelope, but some of them will be some of my old work envelopes. So forgive the old work envelopes. But here was the editions. Everybody's going to get, I believe, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. Everybody gets 6 pieces of deli sheets. They are randomly put in there. I can't... This will actually look really amazing as a background. It really, truly will. Once you get your colors adjusted for a good vintage background, this here, those blues in there, would be amazing. This has kind of the pinks and blues. It's got a little sparkle in there. This has some of the metallics. So that'll be alcohol, ink, and paint. And this one I did some stamping on. It has the Harlequin. And then everybody gets one more piece of this paper. Again, when this brown paper is crumpled up and it just is brown, it'll make something like this after you paint it and dye it. This was my jewelry stands, but I don't use them as jewelry stands anymore. So with this colored paper, you know, you can use pieces and parts. You don't have to use the whole sheet for anything, although you could. But I would probably tear this up and use it in kind of a kaleidoscope type manner. Okay, well, there you have it. That is your new transparency pack. Again, that'll be $37. We do need to use priority mail because I don't want to go and find more envelopes. Priority mail is usually $6 or $7. Unless you're international, then it costs more. So, all right, guys, there's your new goodie pack. It will be on Etsy probably later today. So, have a great day. We'll chat soon. Bye. Let me know what you think. Please let me know what you think on this. All right, bye.